You're watching NBC 10 News at 5.
And the Detroit Pistons forward Rasheed Wallace is back at his alma mater, Simon Gratz High School. He's running a free week-long camp for hundreds of kids in grades 7 through 10. The camp's goal is building basic basketball skills and techniques.
Philadelphia is where I grew up, is where I'm from, and I'm just trying to see its people in itself just become a better city and better people. You know, I know it's a hard task, but it's something that positive thinking can do, and you got to start young, and that's why we're out here starting with the kids. You know, maybe some of them when they grow up, not necessarily having to be a professional athlete, but, you know, successful in another business, come back and give in a different way, then I know we touch some kids.
The kids look up to him because they see this, you know, this NBA player, they see him on TV, they see him on the games. Wow, he's here, he cares. He cares about them. And I think that means a lot to these kids.
If the kids can take away something to help themselves as a person or better their game, then we did our job.
He's 6'11". Everybody looks up to him. You know what I mean? Rasheed Wallace is back at his alma mater today, Simon Gratz High School. The Pistons forward is holding a free camp all week for hundreds of kids in grades 7 through the 10th. This is Rasheed's 10th year running the camp.
Philadelphia is where I grew up, is where I'm from, and I'm just trying to see its people in itself just become a better city and better people. I know it's a hard task, but it's something that positive thinking can do, and you got to start young, and that's why we're out here starting with the kids.
This is WB17 News at 10.
2 straight trips to the NBA Finals, 1 ring to show. Life is good for Rasheed Wallace. It gets even better this week. Go to where it all began for Wallace, Simon Gratz High. His 10th annual basketball camp bringing together kids of all ages to learn about the game and much, much more.
While the kids were playing the game he loves, that tall guy we've seen on television walked across the same gymnasium that began his climb to fame. Rasheed Wallace is back where he's most comfortable, in his neighborhood, teaching youngsters about the game he loves.
Just try to teach more skills opposed to the fancy moves. Try to teach some skills, and if we get a couple kids to take something away from here, then that's perfect.
Who has more fun here, the kids?
I say it's about a deadlock right now.
Wallace has always recognized his hometown, and even though he's made more money than he ever dreamed he could, his feet continue to be firmly planted on the ground.
Philadelphia is where I grew up, is where I'm from, and I'm just trying to see its people in itself just become a better city and better people. You know, I know it's a hard task, but it's something that positive thinking can do, and you got to start young, and that's why we're out here starting with the kids.
Well, it is not unusual when the NBA offseason rolls around to not see or hear from players until training camp resumes in the fall. Rasheed Wallace is an exception, at least here in his hometown.
Well, fresh off of playing in the NBA Finals, Wallace is in Philadelphia this week holding his 10th annual Rasheed Wallace basketball camp, which is consistently held at his alma mater, Simon Gratz. D'Alina paid a visit to the high school gym.
Chauncey's going to go all the way in and miss, but right there to follow is Rasheed Wallace. Timeout taken by Popovich. Since Rasheed has come in this game, Al, he has put his print on it, no doubt about it.
Rasheed Wallace's basketball career has gone from Simon Gratz to North Carolina, to then the Washington Bullets, to the Portland Trailblazers, and now he is with the Detroit Pistons, where he has twice been to the NBA Finals. But he always finds time to come home, and he has not forgotten his roots.
Philadelphia is where I grew up, is where I'm from, and I'm just trying to see its people in itself just become a better city and better people. You know, I know it's a hard task, but it's something that positive thinking can do, and you got to start young, and that's why we're out here starting with the kids. You know, maybe some of them when they grow up, not necessarily having to be a professional athlete, but, you know, successful in another business, come back and give in a different way, then I know we touch some kids.
Influencing the next generation is very much a part of Rasheed Wallace's agenda, off the court as well as on.
We just try to teach more skills opposed to the fancy moves. Try to teach some skills, and if we get a couple kids to take something away from here, then that's perfect.
It should come as no surprise that Wallace is concerned about teaching the basics instead of the glitz. The 11-year NBA veteran has sometimes been criticized for doing too little to help his team win. He has the talent equivalent to the top-level stars, but not the statistics. But he also has a world championship ring. and was clearly integral in Detroit attaining that goal a year ago and reaching the NBA Finals this year. His mom, Jackie, calls her son's move to Detroit a blessing.
It was time for him to move on, and yeah, it was a good doggone move, him going to Detroit. It seemed like it was a better fit. In Portland, it was almost as though they wanted him to be the savior. And as we all know, it takes more than one man to make a team.
A team that may or may not have Hall of Famer Larry Brown at the helm next season. Rasheed's thoughts on Brown's return?
I ain't got nothing to say about that. Next.
Any Piston-related topic was not a conversation option with the camp director. No thoughts on the heartbreak of the Robert Horry Game 5 winning jumper, or even the impact of the 7-game series against the Spurs that had Detroit on the losing end. On these topics, Rasheed was silent, but his mom, Jackie, shared her thoughts.
They did defend the championship well, and they'll get it done next year.
Rasheed Wallace striving to be a winner on the court and breed a winning community off. Dee Lynham, Comcast Sportsnet.
This is Fox 29, 10 o'clock news.
And he is a big man who comes back to our area every year for a lot of reasons. He is Rasheed Wallace. He's back in town during the summer for his summer basketball camp. We'll show you some great-looking young kids and much more, plus Phillies highlights coming up next. Good stuff there, good stuff here. Rasheed Wallace, during the winter, he comes back to town, has a great coat drive, and during the summer, comes back to his native town and teaches a little basketball. There's the big guy. Came oh so close to a second straight NBA title with those Detroit Pistons. He's got all sorts of young people coming out to learn basketball and life lessons as well.
We look forward to it every summer, and I was a little bit antsy last night, just coming in here ready to see the kids this morning and hopefully for them to learn things. I've seen a lot of determination on their faces, and there's a whole lot of don't quit attitudes in here.
The camp runs through Friday at the gym where he first made himself a big name, the gym at Simon Gratz High School.
Definitely, just remember the days of practice, running up and down in the gym where it was just a team in here and we sweating it out, sort of like it is now.
Among the camp instructors, players who came through his program in their earlier days.
He helped me out. He showed me how to play basketball, so it's just me returning the favor to the little kids, showing them how to do it. So I'll just give back to what I learned from.
Great stuff at the awesome Simon Gratz High School, and the smiles on the kids' faces tell the story.
No Spurs jerseys there, huh?
No, I didn't see a lot. Did not see a lot. Yeah. Good point.
And speaking of Detroit, one of the main reasons the Detroit Pistons have appeared in back-to-back NBA Finals and won one of them is a local guy who hasn't forgotten his roots. In fact, for the 10th straight year, Rasheed Wallace has come back home to offer a helping hand. CNN's Bruce Casella has more.
Rasheed Wallace, back where it all began, the gym at his old high school, Gratz. He won a championship practicing on this floor, the foundation that has helped him win a world title with the Detroit Pistons. Now he's helping other kids who have the same dreams as he did.
I've seen a lot of determination on their faces, and there's a whole lot of don't quit attitudes in here. Just remember the days of practice, running up and down in the gym where it was just a team in here and we sweating it out, sort of like it is now.
Even though these kids are learning about the skills of basketball, this camp has other goals. For 4 days, they'll learn about science and leadership, among other things.
It's always good to become that professional athlete, but everyone can't do it. But you can be a professional in so many other things, not just basketball or sports. You can be a professional doctor, lawyer, have a nice professional engineer. So it's a lot of other good professions out there that pay good money also, not just basketball.
When Rasheed was this age, he didn't have free camps like this one, and it was a struggle for his mom, Jackie, to keep her future NBA star headed in the right direction.
It was help because it was he's the youngest of 3. There was always that possibility that my 3 guys could have been in gangs, they could have been in jail, whatever, murdered, what have you. But that village that helped me. We must have did something right.
And the right things are continuing. This is the 10th year for this basketball camp. And on Friday, the mayor of Philadelphia, along with Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb, will speak to the youngsters, hoping they too will have an impact on the youth of the Philadelphia community. Bruce Casella, CNH Sports.
Fox 2 News. News that works for you starts right now.
Some lucky youngsters still get to spend some time with Rip Hamilton and other stars at his basketball camp. Our Woody Woodruff has that story.
Some guys relax by getting away from the court, but not Rip Hamilton. Rip is here kicking it with the kids at Rip Hamilton's summer camp at Detroit Country Day.
I think it's a great opportunity for the kids. You know, I think they know more about basketball than the grown folks. You know, it's exciting. You know, it's just something that I always felt though I want to give back. I want to be a part of. You know, I just want to be an inspiration for kids, and you know, hopefully they can succeed in life.
Rip Hamilton to the best! Rip Hamilton rounding off a very star-studded week of camp. Chauncey Billups on Monday, LeBron James on Wednesday, Rasheed Wallace today. What more could a kid ask for? How crazy was it in here when LeBron James showed up yesterday?
Real crazy. Everyone was cheering. He did like 2 dunks.
Really?
Yeah.
How cool was that?
That was sweet.
When young kids get to see pros firsthand, able to touch them, it gives them the sense where they feel like they could go to the next level. They could reach that goal.
And the excitement isn't just for the little kids. Everyone connected with the camp benefits.
I'm a college basketball player myself, so by Rip coming here every day and seeing what he do with the kids, how he motivates them, it motivates me as well to work on my game and just to get myself to the level that he's at.
What's the best part of this camp?
Well, I think just getting to meet a lot of Pistons players and learning how to play the game of basketball and just what it feels like to be a real NBA player.
This extra special NBA Hoop Dream wraps up tomorrow, but circle the final week of June next year for a hoop experience that will leave kids hopping. In Beverly Hills, Woody Woodruff, Fox 2 Sports.